Welcome to another unboxing video, or rather an unbagging video, as today I'm taking a look at Operation Icarus from our friends at Tiny Battle Publishing. This is a polybag game, which is a what-if historical war game, or a simulation of kind of an alternate timeline where things didn't go the way they did normally. So during World War II, the British government reached out to Iceland, which is obviously located to the north of Britain, reached out to Iceland in an attempt to offer protection in exchange for allowing the British to build a base there, a naval base, in order to stop any invasion of Germany into England from the north. They reached out, I believe it was May of 1940. That offer was rejected by the Icelandic government at that time. There were German advisors, I guess, for lack of a better word, or politicals there. And rather than wait it out, the British went ahead and invaded and took over Iceland so that they didn't have to worry about a northern invasion. They only had to focus on the southern invasion route across the English Channel from France and mainland Europe. So this game anticipates that Germany beat somehow the British to the punch, invaded Iceland, took it over, and then from the north invaded. So pretty interesting. I enjoy alternate history games. They offer, once again, an opportunity to experience history in a bit different way. And these games from Tiny Battle Publishing are very interesting. We've opened and played Winter Thunder, Red Horde 1920, and this is now my third game from them. So I'm going to go ahead and open it, get it out of the bag. So nice bag, nice looking. This game just came out, I want to say a month ago. So it is a recent release. So I'm trying to get this to you so that one, we can really get it played and then do some reviews and videos on it. But here is the rule book. The rule book acts as the front cover as well. Nice art. Love the dagger in the target there. So here's a look at the rule book. Pretty simple. We found the other two games that we've played are pretty standard and easy to follow. Not really dense. There are about, looks like 17, 18 pages total of rules. We're probably looking at somewhere between 14 and 15 pages. Doesn't look real difficult. I will say there's not a lot of examples of play. I'm a big fan and proponent of examples of play, drawn out situations so that we can understand those. But I don't know that this is overly difficult. So this does involve, once again, battles between the British and the Germans. Here's a look at one of the airfields on Iceland itself. So rules don't look terribly complex and shouldn't be that hard to come to understand. Comes with a paper map, which, you know, anymore I'm okay with paper maps. They are, if done well, you can put plexi over them and never really have to worry about them. So yeah, nice looking map. You can see up there the sequence of play is clearly shown on the map. You've got your kind of world exploded view of England and Iceland. And then here you've got northern, well, not northern, Reykjavik on Iceland, which is on the west coast. Obviously, I don't know much about Iceland. You can see this is an inset map of different parts of Iceland where the fighting is going to happen. Also, you'll notice in the upper right corner, the terrain effects chart is there, as well as the game turn record track. This is a pretty concise looking game. There's not a lot of area to move. There might be 30 or 40, maybe 45 hexes that are usable. You're going to have military forces moving around on those, but nice looking map. I think they've done a good job on that. They always really do a good job also on their counters. These are, you can see they're almost ready to fall right out, which I'm appreciative of, because a lot of times these type of die cut counters, if they're stubborn, you can actually end up doing quite a bit of damage to counters if you're not careful. I don't know that I'm an overly careful person, but I don't want my counters to be damaged. So here is a look at some of the British counters. There's the Prince of Wales, obviously a naval ship. And then you've got a commandos counter. It says optional, so I'm assuming there's some optional rules. But really nice looking counters. They're thick, well-made, clear, and really, to be honest, pretty simple. The combat units, here you can see, very simple. They have probably an attack value and a movement value. You can also see there's some trucks here. So this game does have some supply elements. There are disrupted markers. We'll move over here to control emblems. It says bridge down, poor visibility, mined. You have a German mine counter and a British mine counter, kind of cool. And there you have some of the British units. You've got aircraft. You've got a couple Stukas, Me-109. You've got air transport and a Condor. You also have some tank units there, German Panzers. Panzer, what is that, 38th and Panzer 2nd Division. So you also have some trucks there. I didn't know, did the British obviously have Hurricanes. I don't see any tank units though. So yeah, it looks like you're gonna have to be fighting off those nasty German tanks. But the counter's really well done. There's one full sheet of counters. The bottom 2 rows are empty. Those will be spares that I can keep maybe for play testing or other things in the future. Not that I do a lot of that, but that may be something I can keep, throw them in a shoebox. But yeah, you've got about 60 counters. They're really well done. Here are the player aids. Sorry, I'm having to reach around the camera. So you got a couple scenario cards here. You have scenario 1, which is focused on May of 1940. Here's the setup instructions. Here are any special rules. There's even a random event table. I enjoy random events. I think it's something that adds some chaos and a little of the unknown to games. Random events take place. Here it says turns 3 and 7 during this scenario. Here's scenario 2, July of 1940. You can see the setup. Events take place 3, 6, and 9 turns, and there's the event table. And then there is scenario 3 on this card, June of 41. And here's the back part of the rules and the package. The game is designed by Bruce Costello, and Ilya Kudryashov has done the counters. I know she's done a lot for many war games that I've played. Very nice job, works well. But the game is for 2 players, 90 to 120 minutes. Complexity is high. And as I looked at that rule book, there seemed to be a lot of different rules for movement, as well as combat that you're going to have to read and digest. Solitaire suitability is medium, so there must not be a lot of hidden information. So there's a look at Operation Icarus. Once again, this is a new, I think, Tiny Battle Publishing's newest game. They do have a new game coming out called Rifles of the Ardennes, which is by Gottardo Zencani. I've reached out to him about an interview for that game, and I think that's coming out soon. Here, final player aid card just talks about the units. You can see the designations and the information. You got combat factor, range, and movement factor. Here you have some of the land units and movement categories. Interesting. Looks like it's company and battalion. And then here you have some of a look at the naval and air unit counters. Really cool looking. You have subs. Didn't really spot those on the counter sheet, but they are there. And then on the other side, you've got your typical needed and necessary elements, your combat tables, your artillery and land strike tables. Here you've got kind of the different spotting, naval combat. Some of the more rules intense parts they've tried to break down into a very simple to digest format. Looks like this game, while it's 90 to 120 minutes, I think it's going to be fairly simple to pick up. It's not a huge game. Doesn't involve 500 counters. You're talking 60 to 80 counter, 88 counters, I think is what it said on the back. I feel like I don't want to shoot from the hip. 88 counters and then 40 operational markers, so 128 counters. But a nice looking game, I think well packaged. I think this will be fun to try out. Alexander and I love these mini operational level war games because you can play them in a couple of hours, get that feel of combat and some of those historical learning elements, and then move on to the next game. So that's Operation Icarus from Tiny Battle Publishing. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and like it. If you enjoy our channel and what we do, go ahead and subscribe. I think we're over 11 or 1,200 subscribers now. I can't believe that many people actually care what we say, but I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll continue putting out videos as long as we continue getting some games and buying games and playing games, and that's something I want to do for a long time. So I'm Grant with the Player's Aid. I've enjoyed talking to you. Thanks a lot.